Just wanted to, I'm really disappointed about the loss, but I'm still feel good about this football team. We're 6-2. The two opponents that we just played were extremely, extremely physical, which we all knew was going to happen before the season started. And obviously some of that stuff has taken the toll. I told the team to stay together, which we will do, and we will try to find ways as coaches to get them as fresh as we can to the football game, the next football game, to give their bodies the best opportunity to heal so that we can put our best performance together, okay, out in front of us against our next opponent. When it comes to Garrett Schrader, the reason why he was out of the game is I watched him. I've been one of those guys, I've sat back and watched what happened, and this has nothing to do with the head injury before you guys say this, but I'm going to give you the example. But I've watched things that happened to the Michigan quarterback, and I was watching years back, and I was watching him. I'm like, you can see that from the sideline. And then I watched the things that have happened with Tua and the Miami Dolphins. I'm like, whoa. But I just didn't feel like he could protect himself. He's a fighter. He wanted to be out there. He did not want to come out of the game, but just in watching the first half, he just didn't have all the tools in his toolbox. And I just didn't think it was fair to have him out there with all those athletes that was trying to, archers trying to get him in his sights. And it just didn't seem like it was fair to me. So that was the only reason we made the move. There's not a quarterback controversy. When Schrader is healthy, Schrader will go. I thought that Del Rio, if I had to grade him without seeing the tape, I don't like doing that stuff like that. My grade would be a C, but I'll go back and watch the tape and see. But we felt like we had a chance to win. The game went the way I thought the game would go. If I was them, that's the way I would play the game. And my hat goes off to Coach Freeman and Notre Dame. They played it the way I thought they would play it, and they had success. The early interception house call was not in our favor, and obviously, when you throw an interception for a touchdown and you get a punt block for a touchdown, that's tough to overcome. But I don't think the kids gave up. I thought they fought extremely well. And we've got to get into the healing process. We're one loss down in the ACC Atlantic Championship column, and we just want to go out and get one more win and see what happens with that race. Okay? So questions?
Start with Emily in front over at the end section.
So just want to make sure we're all on the same page. You said Schrader does not have a head injury.
Not at all.
And
no.
Did he have an injury coming into this game? Is that why you said he didn't have all the tools?
Absolutely.
And then with Garrett Williams, was that a re-aggravation of what he already had, something new? Do you have a status update on him?
I don't have a status update on him. I believe I know what it is, but I'm not completely sure, and I don't want to put out a false thing.
Yeah.
Dino, 246 yards they had on the ground against you. 3 different running backs showed that they had a dynamic backfield. Just what you can say about your defense against that today and how you shore that up moving forward.
Well, we just ran out of guys. We've only got so many. I thought that, they kept putting that ball in there, and unless you're going to match scores with them on offense or get out in front of them where they can't play that style, that's exactly the style they should have played, and they did play it. And they've got they've got 7 offensive linemen, they got 4 tight ends, and they just turned around and kept handing the ball to those 3 different backs.
Coach, you mentioned you gave Carlos a C. Just wondering if you could elaborate that on what you saw from his performance today.
I just thought it was okay. I haven't seen the whole tape, but it's the first time the guys played here wearing our orange jerseys. I wouldn't say it was, thought it was a C.
Hey, Coach. Azar Johnson from 4.0 Sports. I was wondering, what do you think that you were doing well that brought you back into the game within 7 points? And what do you think that you didn't do to finish the job?
Well, I thought we opened it up a little bit by throwing the football, and we actually started to get their defense tired. Actually, I shouldn't say just throwing the football. We were in 2-minute offense where it was almost like no huddle, and we were throwing every snap. And their defensive line, if you started watching in the middle of that, they started getting tired. with their pass rush. Now, they got a lot of guys, but even then, the guys out there were starting to get tired. So that was a little bit of an advantage. But you have to be able, when you're doing that and you don't get first downs, you're putting your defense back out there really, really quick. You're not giving them time to rest. When you throw the football, this crazy as this sounds, when you throw the football, everyone doesn't have to go out hard. You can kind of take a little bit off if you know what's going on, if you've played enough football. But when on a running play, everybody's got to hunt because you never know where that ball is going to go to. So you use a lot more energy on defense stopping the run than you do stopping the pass. Now, the front line gets tired, but those backup guys, back-end guys don't get that tired.
Coach, can you touch on Estime and what made him so difficult to stop for your defense tonight?
Say it one more time, please.
Can you touch on Estime and what made him so difficult to stop tonight?
I'm blanking. What number is he?
The running back.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the big dude, right? Yeah, he's huge. He's like, what is he, 236 or something like that? How much does he weigh? Yeah, well, you got your little thing right there. It's 236 pounds or something like that, I believe. Huh? Thank you very much. See, hang out with him more. 229 pounds. He's a big guy. He's got big thighs. The thing is, guys, if it's one back doing the whole thing, then that running back gets to get tired as everybody else is getting tired. When you're rotating three cats, they're only doing 1/3 of the work. You got a fresh guy coming at you every single time. It's hard. That's hard. That's difficult. And the only way it can change is if you get him on 3 and outs. And if you're not getting them on 3 outs, you can get really tired out on defense with those guys coming at you.
Coach, can you talk about the decision to change out the punters there that only got blocked?
Well, we weren't punting very far. If you started looking at the average, we were losing the field position battle. And I thought Max had done an okay job with that, but I don't know whether I'm just watching what was happening in this game, and I believe the one just before that, he had shanked it out of the back of our end zone and going to the right, I believe, over into their sidelines, and we're like, if you're only going to kick it that far, it's making us difficult. It's making this game a lot more difficult than what it was. And James has punted for us before, and he's punted in games before, so we didn't think it was going to be too big for him, but I'll have to check the operation time on whether it was fast enough for that thing to get off, but that's something they had done. We had practiced for it. They had blocked 4 punts before they came in here, 2 against UNLV, and then singles on 2 other teams, and then he got 1 on us.
Coach, back-to-back weeks. You mentioned it earlier. Back-to-back weeks against 2 really cream-of-the-crop type programs in Clemson and Notre Dame. Just was wondering if anything for you personally has kind of stuck out that you found out about your team similarity-wise between these last 2 weeks, whether it be for better or worse.
I think the biggest thing, I've already said this before, and I know everyone gets tired of hearing it, but I'm going to say it whether I'm here or not here, because here's the truth. You have to create a certain amount of depth on a football team so that you can have enough guys to handle these battles. Now, that's the first thing. Boom, that's my JOB. The second thing is you have to avoid certain types of injuries so that you have enough guys to roll in. You watch what's going on. There's a certain position that keeps getting hit with injuries. If you get hit with too many injuries in the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness era, where guys are moving all the doggone time and they hit the right position, you've only got so many guys to do it. And now you've got those guys rotating guys through, once again, on guys that aren't getting a chance to rotate. And when you're running the ball, it can be extremely difficult because it takes an enormous amount of energy to stop somebody from trying to move you against your will.
What was Carlos's reaction when he found out he was going into the game? I mean, he hasn't played a whole lot in 2 years at college, and going into such a big game in a big spot. What did you kind of see in his face, maybe?
I can't. Me looking in his face, he seemed like he was okay with it. We said, hey, you're going in. And he said, okay. And we put him in.
Coach, can you just talk about the decision to go for it on 4th down towards the end of the second quarter?
We were on the what yard line? We were on the 39. Okay, 39-yard line plus 8 yards. Okay, 39 plus 8's what? 47. 47. Then you add 10 for the back of the goalpost. That's 57. We've never seen Andre hit a 57-yarder before. Okay, it's right on. So field goal was out of it. All right, and if we punt the ball and it goes in the end zone, they bring it back out to the 20-yard line, the ball's on the 19. Okay, so that's only a 19-yard gain, and we already knew what they were going to do is run the ball. So we felt like with them getting the ball out, start the second half. And again, we have to get close enough to them or we have to get ahead of them so that their strategy won't work. They basically were playing Army, Navy, Air Force football. So you got to get close enough or you got to get in front of them so that they can change and they want to throw the ball a lot more. Okay, so it was 3rd and 8. With that distance, we decided to go for it.
Last question for Coach Wood, Emily.
Speaking of fourth downs, you did have Schmidt kick a career-long 54-yarder.
Because I've seen him make that before.
Yeah, but I was curious because to me it mirrored the moment from last game against Clemson where you guys rolled him on, it went short, and then had a timeout. And so, like, what was the difference or what was the conversations around sending him in there?
This time?
This time, yeah.
You're asking me just about this game.
Or, yeah, comparison to what was different between this game and last game.
You want me to compare the Clemson game kick with this game, or do you want me to just talk about this game?
I would like you to talk about both, but I'll take your answer.
Here's the difference. One kick is outside. Okay? One kick, I've never seen him make that kick outside. Okay? And when he kicked it, it came up short in Clemson. That's what I visually saw. Okay? So I said, if you're going to come up short, then we might as well go for it. I believe it was a 4th and 3. Okay, now, this kick, I've seen him make it in the dome. There's no wind, there's no rain, there's no snow. We have a dome. Okay? We kicked it. How far did it go over the goalpost?
Not very far.
Barely, right? Do you think it would have gone further? I mean, if it was 3 yards further, you think he would have made it? That's why we have to watch them every single time. So that was the difference between the two kicks. I have no hesitation to believe that young man can make a 54-yard kick every single time. No hesitation.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.